today. Anyone wishing to address commissioners, please approach the microphone, state your name and address for the record. There will be a 3-minute time limit.
Good afternoon. I'm Corey Forney at 2800 Williams Road. And this will be back in my old office, which used to be right here once upon a time on River Channel. My comment is about the data center. I don't know a lot about the data center. I did talk to a guy with a lot of power this morning. He said that data center would take just about as much power as the entire city of Walla, not counting water. He said, we don't have any extra power. And I would certainly hate to have us in Walla cut our air conditioning or cut our heating off just so we can run Facebook a little faster or play TikTok a little bit more. So I think as commissioners, as leaders of our community, you really need to sit back and really look at this, see if this is really gonna benefit us in the long term, not necessarily short term. Short term, I'm sure we're gonna get good tax benefits and that sort of stuff, but how many people are gonna be employed there? How much resources we're gonna be losing the power? He also told me that there isn't power available now, it's gonna be brought in from a long ways away, and there isn't it's gonna cost $4 million a mile to bring in power to this data center. I don't know how many miles away it is, but I just think that when you deal with the data center, you need to look at all the impacts, what's gonna happen, see if the impacts outweigh the benefits. That's my comment.
Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Betty Courtney, 2800 Williams Road, Walla, and I'm here to also speak against this data center. There are so many data centers coming across the board in our country, and it seems to be being run by the billionaires, and the little people are the ones that are going to be hurt. We're going to end up down here, and they're all going to be up here, and this is not good for the country. This isn't good for the world. And I think that no one has taken the time to really think about the repercussions of bringing things like this into the valley. It's not just here. Look at Boardman. We already have several. We're bringing one here. We're bringing 2 or 3 more up by the Tri-Cities, and they're all going to be coming off of aquifers and I'm sure out of the river. And let's think about the bird sanctuary. We always enjoy seeing wild eagles when we drive past there in the wintertime, and the bird sanctuary off to the right. What's going to happen to that? What's going to happen to the other animals that benefit from that area? Do we ever stop and think about not just people, what benefits us, what benefits nature? And I think that people aren't thinking about nature. And you gotta realize without nature, we're not gonna be here. The sound thing and the noise thing, the noise and the sound is gonna affect the bees. And without the bees, that kind of messes with our ecosystem as well, doesn't it? And I just think, I've heard from several people in the community that you all are afraid to say no to this because you're afraid of being sued. Well, maybe you will get sued, but I really doubt it. We're just one little fish in a big pond. And this is happening all across the country, and people are stopping these things across the country. And why can't we have a moratorium on it to have this studied further? Why do you have to just stamp your yes on everything? This went before the board approved it. Three or four people, whoever they are, I know their names, but it's on decisions that can be so life-affecting for this valley. I just don't see why those aren't things that are voted on by the community. I think we need to make some changes in that department. I don't think 3 people here, 3 people there should be making these kind of major decisions for our valley and for our state. And I guess I'm really getting close to my point, but I hope I made my point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cindy Goddard Gross. I live in Walla. One of the biggest worries, I understand county commissioners are scared of putting moratorium in place because they are worried about Amazon suing them. So Friday I searched hard to see how valid that claim might be. It appears there's little support in thinking Amazon sues in cases like ours. I didn't search Westlaw as I don't have easy access. One of the biggest worries, as far as my searches show, is that we do not have a code that addresses the data centers. There has been reliance on a letter from 2020 by a former community development director that sought to expand on the warehouse definition. Walla County did not address the problem then of no code, and it did not address not having a code now. This is probably our weakest point concerning lawsuits. We have no code addressing data centers. You have no doubt seen cities and counties across the nation addressing this by putting codes in place as soon as possible. Anecdotally, I was threatened with a lawsuit several years ago, and the person who tried to bully me, when I stood up to them, they went ballistic. They know people. They used to work for the city. So here's what I did, and it might help you. I documented everything. Years later, this documentation is still on my computer. Since they're a bit crazy, it will probably stay there until the hard drive decays. That doesn't mean I'm legitimately scared of a lawsuit. That doesn't mean they can't file a lawsuit. Yes, lawsuits can be troublesome, but capitulating to a bully is even worse, and not listening to your constituents is the very worst thing you could do. Also, since the county is advertising on an Amazon open house at Columbia Burbank High School, I'd like to request that our anti-data center activities get that same consideration and promotion. I'm helping with the t-shirts, and I can whip up a blurb in 2 shakes and get it to you. You can put up a disclaimer at the bottom of my submission also, for info only. I look forward to the opportunity to let the